Atta was done. He joins us on the line. Good morning, and thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thank you very much. Good morning, Sina. How are you?
I am well. You were the one who was showing pictures on your phone of what had happened to the grave in question that had gotten your colleague and blood brother of someone you worked closely with very unhappy. So it means you were there and saw everything yourself. Please describe to us what you saw.
Well, thank you very much once again, and good morning to all your listeners. As part of our preparation towards the 10th anniversary of Professor John Evans Mills, our father and our leader, the Tamils Memorial Heritage, in consultation with the National Democratic Congress, put together a committee to work on the commemorative activities. So some of us were delegated by the party and the heritage to go look at the situation at Desecration Park. Earlier on, our leadership, led by Mr. Kofi and Mr. Alester Befia, had paid courtesy calls on the National Security Minister and the Presidency on briefing them on what we intend to do. The NDC, for the past 10 years, has always done a commemorative service for the late president at Desecration Park. But last year, something significant happened. A so-called Atta Institute also decided to do a similar program. We didn't want to have any confrontation. And we don't have any problem with anybody getting up and also doing something to honor the memory of the late President Atta. So we accepted. We allowed that group to do this in the morning, and the NDC and the leadership of the party and the family of Professor John Evans Atta, we did ours in the afternoon. This year, the same thing has been planned. So permission has been given to the NDC to do its activity in the afternoon, Sunday at 1. But you can't just do an activity without going to the venue, look at the situation and plan. So we went there, we looked at it, and to our horror, to our amazement and surprise, the grave or the tomb of the former president has been desecrated. I don't see how a renovation should touch the grave or the tomb. And even if we are going to do something like that, by our custom and tradition, you must seek the permission, the authority, and the order of the family. Professor Mills may have been president, but he came from a family. He has a family, and the family is existent. So you should, at least out of respect for the family and out of respect for our culture, tradition, and practices, the government and the Coastal Development Authority should have sought permission of the family before touching the grave or the tomb. This was not done. As far as I'm talking to you, by this morning, I'm not aware that any member of the family, because since 3 days today, Honorable Samuel Tamis has been in touch with almost the maternal family and the paternal family, and none of them gave any indication to the fact that they ordered, they authorized the desecration of the grave as we have seen yesterday. I have been sad since yesterday. For the first time, many months and many years, I cried because this is not the grave or the tomb of just an ordinary Ghanaian, former president of this country, died in the course of public service. A man who has changed the lives of many people. For you to just go, arrogate to yourself that authority and power, disrespecting the family, to go touch it, is unpardonable offense. It's an unpardonable offense. It's a sacrilege. I've never heard anywhere in my life that anybody could do that. Because even when the court gives an order for anybody to be assumed, the court will indicate that family should be there. So I was at a loss, and I was asking myself, so don't we have even one sensible, intelligent person in government who could tell the people that what we are doing is against our tradition and custom and practices, so it's wrong? I just know I'm at a loss. Why such a thing could be done?
Have you been able to find out who? Because you said you, who in particular is responsible for such an act?
Well, as far as I know, the national security is responsible for the maintenance of the place. As far as I know, a so-called institute called Atta Institute and the Coastal Development Authority are the ones who have publicly indicated that the government is renovating the place with their support. Somebody has opened his mouth wide in this country to say that the government is the one doing this. So who else do we blame? And I'm sure I am not a member of the Atta Mills family, but I'm close, very, very close to the family. And I know that the Atta Mills family has consulted their lawyers. The family are enriched, and the family are going to take the most drastic decision on this particular issue.
So
it is a matter of I can't believe anybody could do this in this country, Ghana, where we value our cultural traditions and practices.
So 3 institutions you are identifying. National Security was supposed to be in charge, Coastal Development Authority, and Atta Mills Institute, who both of whom made an announcement together.
Yes, I've seen invitation cards at Atta Mills Institute and Koda inviting people to the opening of the renovated Asumdue Park. And I was there 3 days today, and I am at a loss if this is what they call renovation.
Because that was supposed to cost us 4.4 million cedis.
Well, accountability will come one day. But for now, the most important thing for me is that the grave of the man who opened the doors for all of us to serve in the public space, the man who has taught us a lot of things, to be humble in public service, to sacrifice, but to be caring in public service. His grave has been desecrated by people who know next to nothing about our Ghanaian custom and tradition, who know next to nothing about the custom and tradition of the people of the central region and of the family of John Evans Atta Mills. And it hurts. It hurts seriously I feel bad. I feel bad, and I don't want to get angry this morning. But I believe that those people come from families. If in their families they do not respect the dead, I know that Atta Mills' family respect their dead.
You said people do not know anything about the family of John Evans, but one of them is Mr. Koku Anyidoho, who is in charge of the Atta Mills Institute, was very close to the former president.
Koku Anyidoho is not an Atta Mills. Koku Anyidoho only worked with Professor Mills. I worked with Professor Mills. But for me, Koku Anyidoho wouldn't have been anywhere close to Professor Mills. So Koku Anyidoho cannot claim any loyalty to Atta Mills and his family more than me, Nii Lantey Vanderpuye. At least I have told you publicly. But for Atta Mills, I wouldn't be even in Ghana Broadcasting Corporation in the first place. I worked with him as his sports secretary at Mensa Sabah Hall. I worked with him as the general secretary of the Accra Suffolk Chapters, National Chapters Committee, when he was the board chairman. I worked with him as his director of operations. I work with him closely. So he cannot claim any allegiance, any loyalty to Professor Mills more than me. And I have not disrespected his family all this while. You cannot claim to be loyal to Professor Mills and disrespect his family. I will never disrespect the family of Koku Anyidoho, because every member of the family apart from him is decent, is respectful. His father, a general, is so humble, noble, and respectful to every human being, no matter your status. His father, the general, a whole general, not only general in Ghana, general at the United Nations. He served in international capacities. He was recently awarded a national honor in Rwanda. Even him respects people, is very decent in his language, and behaves like somebody who understands and believes in the culture, tradition, and practices of Ghanaians and of his tribe. I don't see anyone who has been brought up truly in any home in Ghana, brought up well in a family, who do what he's doing.
You call
but
this
you know, the Ghans have a proverb. They say, "Allo men, and trust your men." You understand?
No, I don't.
What it means that there are people, there are children who are brought up, and there are children who are trained. You understand?
I'm so
as for bring up, anybody at all can just bring up a child. You can just feed the person, and let the person grow up. But to train a child, it takes more.
That's why I was wondering, because you said there are decent, respectful people in his family, but you said, but for Koku, it doesn't mean, does that mean you consider him not be decent and respectful?
Exactly. I'm not running away from that. Because if he is, which I know Fonzie and the rest of the family are, he will not be doing what he's doing. He will not.
Was that the same person who was not decent and respectful? Because I just spoke to your colleague in Parliament, who is also the brother of your very close late friend, who said that yourself and a certain Ludwig Holodje were the ones who brought him to the former president.
Yes.
Was it then decent and was it then indecent and disrespectful?
You see, there are people who cannot handle power, authority, fame. You understand? And the little opportunity they get to get close to power, it gets into their head and behave abnormally. Some of us got into public office. We got into authority, we got into power to serve as ministers of state and as presidential staffers. That power did not get to us. We didn't allow that power to change the way. In fact, when you work with Prof Mills, the power will rather make you more humble, because that's what he was. When you work with Prof Mills, you become more humble, more noble, more decent in public service and in your relationship with people. He is the reverse. And that's what hurts me. Because after his father has retired from the army, I've met the father several times, and he's more humbler than he even was when he was an army officer. I recently met him at the funeral in the Volta region, and the way he talked to us, and the way he acted, the way he related to us, I respected him more. And I don't expect the son to be embarrassing the family and the father this way, with this attitude of his. I think sometimes, you see, some of us who know a lot have been too quiet. And I don't blame him. I blame people like myself, Ludwig, Safi Yanka, Fifi Kwete, Papa Jamal. Those of us, the young ones who got opportunity to be close to Professor Mills and allowed him. I blame people like Dade, Angola, Balo, Agbozo, Sylvanos Tamaklo, Julius Zebra. Those of us, the young ones who were brought up by Professor Mills. Alex Sebefia. We've allowed him too much space and too much room to misbehave. And he thinks he can continue to do that. Let me be frank with you. Then, as far as me, Nii Lantey Vanderpuye is concerned, today is his last stop.
Today is his last stop.
Look, I will respond to him every word, every letter from today. He opens his mouth to say about Professor Mills. From today, anything he says about Professor Mills, anything he says about John Dramani Mahama, he will have a fitting response from me. It's going to be my project. If nobody will discipline Koku, I will discipline Koku because he's a small boy. Koku is a small boy. I'm older than him. In fact, he's not even older than the third after me. He's not more intelligent than any of us. And he's not more qualified than any of us. He's not. And I said, from today, I'm serving him a warning. He will get a fitting response from me from today. Anything he says about the NDC and about Professor Mills. But for me, he will not be Koku Anyidoho. Nobody will know him. He was in a corner somewhere. And I opened the door for him. He was in a small corner somewhere. And I opened the door for him.
Honorable,
if he is not ready to respect what holds all of us together as young men for the future, I'm ready to help him cut that rope. But he is the only one who ran away from that family.
A big thank you for speaking to us this morning, especially in light of what my producers have told me. I don't think I have the right to say anything yet, but all I can say is I wish you the best.
I'm a man. I know your producers have told you that I just lost my dad. Yes, I lost my dad just about 30 minutes ago.
When I heard it was very sad news. And
well, I'm okay. He was 89 years. He's been sick for some time.
Okay.
We've tried our best. He was on admission at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
Okay.
And just when you called me and said you are getting ready to put me, I had another call that unfortunately he passed early this morning. So as I'm talking to you currently, we are preparing him for the morgue.
Wow. I'll leave you to that and extend our condolences to you and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, my brother. God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. Honorable Nii Lantey Vanderpuye, Member of Parliament for Ododo joining us. Very sad news. Just when my producers were conversing with him, there was an agreement between him and my producer, Eric. Eric called him and realized he was busy on the line. So he got back. Eric called back and then he informed him that, actually, I had gotten another call saying that his father had passed on. So Honorable Nii Lantey Vanderpuye lost his father
this morning.
Yes, just when we're working out. Wow. So he's been conversing. I'm sure he's conversing with other radio stations. In the process, he got told that he said his father was 89 years old. He has been sick for a while. Life, a long life.
Yeah, 89 years.
It's a long life.
Do say
yeah.
Say nyame epija omadu mpempen so say ya now ye oba obepese either your mom or your dad omo ebewa around so that ombe hunu say awo mo ye no eso abamfa so batem sene wo kan ye no nyankopon fa ne kransie Honorable Nii Lantey Vanderpuye nim adwuma a waye